Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm here to help. So, so yeah, what can or let's maybe start off a little bit of background of like where you're at in business, and maybe revenue for the year and stuff like that. And then yeah, we can jump into kind of what you need help with, and I can answer any kind of questions that you have. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So I started this company. I formed my lawn care business May of last year. Um, I was working for the government 18 years. I got tired of the red tape and said, you know what? I'm just going to do my own thing. I've had the entrepreneur bug for about 3 years, so I took a leap. So with that being stated, I did right at $10,000 last year in gross revenue. Um, I'm doing everything organically, growing it organically. And let's see here. Here we are in March or April, end of April. I think I've already done about 5,000 since February 27th.
nice. Let's go. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, a lot of understand a lot of that though. You mentioned this a couple times, and so did Mike Andes. I follow him a lot as well. So I've done a lot of one-off jobs or landscape jobs, small landscape flower beds, um, uh, leaf, leaf removal, spring cleanup, fall cleanup, that kind of stuff. So I'm sitting at probably about $5,200 in gross revenue as of this year for this season. Um, so I'm a solo entrepreneur. It's just me. I started bare bones, man. I knew that I didn't want to work for anybody, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do. I've been in and out the landscape lawn care since I was probably 17, and over the years as a what do you call it? Like a second, third job, whatever. So I knew I had the knowledge. I knew I had the drive. I'm a veteran. I got my stuff squared away for the most part. Trying to rebuild my credit, but outside of that, I'm good to go. Never been in trouble. None of that stuff. So, but it's just me. I don't. Here's the problem I'm having. Um, everybody kept telling me don't do it. I can't do it because I don't have a pickup truck. If you can't see, this is an SUV, and this is my pickup. This is it. But
Nice.
um, but here's the thing, Will. I've got a drive and I've got a passion that I've always been told that many people don't have. I'm very driven. I'm very focused. I'm intelligent. I'm college educated. All that good stuff. I say, you know what? I can do this and grow organically if that makes sense. Instead of going out and getting myself in debt with a $20,000 truck and a $10,000 mower. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. 1000%. I think you're doing it right.
So
Absolutely.
I've got a Honda push mower, 200cc. That bad boy will cut some yard.
Yeah.
um, I've got a steel weed whacker. I've got a commercial grade. I got a steel blower and hand tools and all the other miscellaneous stuff. And that's it, man. I love your business model. I found you, I guess, because you follow Andes. I guess I don't know, but somehow I found you, and I like the fact that you were former military. Thanks for your service, by the way. And I respect that. I respect what you do, and your business model is simple. It's simple, and that's kind of what I want to model my business after. Is kind of what you do. When you did that flower bed makeover the other day with your wife, I watched that 5 times, and I kid you not, the way y'all did it is exactly how it. People make fun of me because I'll load this joker with 20 bags, but it works. I can make it happen. I'm strong. I'm 49, but I take care of myself. But I like your business model, so I know I'm rambling. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I think you're doing it right. So to tell you the truth, so when we got our business off the ground, military lawn cuts, so I had a Pontiac Grand Prix that I was putting the mower in the back seat and the handlebars were sticking out of the window. Like that, and I had the weed eater and the edger back there, and there was literally gasoline like spilling on the back seat. So when I would take the mower out on the weekends, I would just drive around smelling gasoline all day. Like it was not good. But I did what I needed to do to get the business off the ground, just like you're doing. So don't be discouraged if you don't have a truck yet. Or I think the way that you're building it is like it's awesome because it really just like the backbone is the hustle and the grind, you know. You don't have to go out there and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on all of these pieces of equipment and trucks and all these fancy things. Like you, if you have that drive and that hustle, that's why the service-based industry is so good, that you don't need a lot of capital to kind of get things off the ground, you know.
Right.
So what are you doing for like marketing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. That because that was a question I had. So I've I've got twice. I've done 250 the first order business cards, and then I did 500 this last time. And heck, I don't know if you can see it, but very simple. Um, Basically, it has my business name, veteran owned, locally family business, owner operator, phone number, and then I have my website and a license insured. And then on the back it says Red Rock Lawn Care, full lawn care and landscape services. Thank you for your business. Referrals welcome. Very simple, to the point. So I've been handing those out, going through neighborhoods that I want to um, get business in, if that makes sense. So keep my route density. I'm trying to work on that. And I did EDDM. I don't think I have any with me right now, but for fall cleanups, I spent about, I download, where'd I get them from? It was Brian's Lawn Care. You probably heard of him out of Ohio, Brian. He's really good too. I like him too. But I ordered some from him. I bet all in all, I spent $500, and man, I didn't get one call. That was a little discouraging. And I did it in a pretty swanky neighborhood. Um, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to do it. I've never done it before, and the tool, the USPS tool, to just to look up locations and find out the average income of families in that neighborhood, and you can set it up. It's so cool. I think that's really cool. So basically, business cards, word of mouth. I'm on Facebook. I'm on a couple neighborhood Facebook pages. I got some business from that. I haven't had much luck with Nextdoor. I've tried it because I live in a little town right now called Pearl. Like Jackson's is the center city of central Mississippi. It's not a great city, but there's a lot of rich pockets around there. And so I know the areas by using that tool where I want to target for the people that have the money that can afford my services, if that makes sense. So I've done my homework on that. Like I said, I've got an Instagram page. I got all my before and after pictures, Facebook before and after pictures. And like I said, business cards, that and word of mouth.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we've done EDDM flyers in the fall, and we haven't really got a lot of good return on that investment. So if there's ever a time to market, I would pour all of your resources and dollars and time and energy into probably that spring rush timeframe of, for us down here, it's right when that weather breaks, like March 1st, all through March and all through April. There's like 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks where it's just super, super spring rush, grass is coming out of dormancy. If there's
Yeah,
ever a time to market, I would say pour all your resources in that time frame window. I would be
right
willing to
now.
bet if you took that same EDDM $500 route that you did and put it out at the right time in the spring, you are absolutely bound to get like customers if you do it right at the right timing and things like that. So I think for your size though, I probably wouldn't recommend EDDM flyers, just because of the amount of revenue that you're doing. Um,
Yeah,
EDDM flyers is a paid source, and you always have to pay for the entire route. Like,
yeah,
I would just there. I mean, we're actually Larissa right here next to me. She's actually putting door hangers together. She's creating door hangers, and they're like 8 cents for a door hanger. So we haven't done the physical door hangers yet, but we have done like regular flyers. And what we would do
right.
is hole punch them and then put a rubber band around them, and then put them on the doorknob. That way they have to physically remove it, But I think there's other more even free ways. Like you said, you're in the Facebook groups. I would try to be getting in every single community group once a week on Saturday, posting, your services or like a before and after picture or something like that. Because those free resources, I mean, we get so many customers from Facebook groups. It's
Do
insane.
you really?
Yeah. And literally like we're in probably 30 local communities. And like what I do on a day-to-day basis is I pull up my phone, I scan Facebook for probably 15 seconds, and Facebook knows that all I care about is lawn care. So they'll show me within the first 3 or 4 scrolls if somebody's like, hey, need lawn care service, because it'll pop up. And that's the only things that I comment on for Facebook. I don't even really
Yeah.
use Facebook to like message
Same,
anybody else, but
same here. Same here. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just more so business. Um, I don't know if you're going to get great return with leaving business cards on doors. I've just seen them a lot. I've seen people put their business cards like in the doors, and then when they open it up, it kind of falls on the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like I don't know if you get great return from that. I think a physical door hanger is maybe a little bit more professional, because again, you want to separate yourself from everybody else, right? Like if everybody else is putting that business card on the door, how do you separate yourself, from them? What is, maybe putting a picture of yourself on there so you can start to be a little bit more personable, relatable to
yeah,
the customer. Just things like that. I would really push the veteran owned thing. I know when you showed me the business card, I saw like a green zero turn. Man, I would put like a big military star up there in the corner or something that can grab my attention. Right, like because the first thing I saw was that green zero turn mower,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
but we want to like people gravitate to veterans like you and I that have served our country because they want to serve us as well. Like, hey,
yeah.
we put our life on the line, and they appreciate that and they want to support that. So I would really try to maybe target that or push that on your business cards or flyers or whatever. Just kind of make that a little bigger so that way it's kind of grabbing. That's what we're working on too right now. So
No, I like the idea. And I wanted to do door hangers. I really, um, I don't mean to mention his name, but I'll mention it one more time. But Andy's does that um, instant quote door hanger. And I like that idea where, you can walk up to a yard and, every yard's different. You know this. And just say, okay, this is a 40 weekly, 60 bi-weekly, or this is a $250 mulch job or whatever. Um, I kind of like that. I think that's something like that would be pretty neat.
yeah. Yeah, we because we're actually, I mean, we were talking about it today. We were kind of looking into that. I think there's a little like I think it's a really good strategy. We haven't physically used that yet. Our door hangers are kind of more generic of just like, hey, here's our logo, here's the services we offer, and a little bit about us on the back with a personal photo. So that way we can kind of relate to the customer and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, we talked about maybe doing the instant quote too, maybe adding that on ours, but we're like, I don't like we always map out our properties from a Google satellite so we get the exact turf square footage based off of like how much time we're spending on the property so we can accurately quote, because we have like employees and stuff like that. So like if we under quote a lot of jobs, like we need to make payroll and we need to
yeah,
pay our office staff and our rent at our property and stuff like that. So like, we can't afford to like come in under. So I think there's some room for marginal like error on that of like, hey, let's just quote this whole street $40. Well, um, sometimes that's not always the case, but I think when you're first entering a market area and you're really just trying to get route density, I think that strategy will work really, really well. To maybe do like maybe 250 flyers or 500 just to test it before ordering like a bulk order of like thousands of them, you know?
Right, right, right. No, I like that idea because you're right. Every yard is like today. I went to a yard and did a property cleanup, a spring cleanup, if you will. Man, it was flat out. I underquoted it. I looked at it. She sent me some pictures, but until I physically got on the job and looked at how overgrown some of these weeds were, 7 foot tall, and I should have charged her $1,000. I'm not lying when I charged her 400, and it took me 7 hours. I underbid, and it was I don't know. I felt bad, but then again, I was like, man, I could have easily charged $1,000.
Yeah. We've all been there. I would just say from that experience, what can you do better to learn from it, to grow from it? Like we used to do estimates based off of pictures, and
Yeah,
it's very deceiving because oh man, that looks like a small tree, and then you get out there and it's like, whoa, this does
yeah,
not look like the picture. So what we've transitioned to is video. Video shows more context and like depth on certain things. Now, obviously, we're not asking the customer to shoot a video, but for our like estimates that we do shoot a video on the property to get good visual on that because yeah, pictures don't do a lot of justice. But yeah, I underbid a commercial job the other day pretty badly. We're charging like $259 a month on it, and it should be double. All of our guys are spending literally double the amount of time, and I'm shooting myself in the foot doing
right,
that because we don't do a lot of commercial properties. And this one, literally the mow section is so small. It's like a little ditch in the front, but there's a ton of weed eating. It's a storage
yeah,
bin. So they got rocks and stuff, and
yeah,
I under accounted for the amount of weed eating that they have to go around each vehicle, and it's so tedious. And I'm like, but when I initially looked at it, I'm like, oh man, this is easy. Like they'll be in and out 45 minutes. And it's like
yeah.
every time we're there, hour and a half. I'm like, oh man. So yeah, it's
So I agree. And I had a house that was similar to that. Half the house, I bid off the square footage that I looked at, but half they didn't tell me. And I never thought that half the front yard was all rocks. So I had to weed eat half the front yard. So it took me, instead of 45 minutes is what I laid out, it took me 2 hours.
yeah,
But she was kind enough. I was very honest with her. Said, ma'am, I told her the situation. I said, I'm basically have to turn this into like, and there was a lot of big leaves because a storm came through and they didn't tell me that. So it took me 20, 30 minutes to pick up all these big limbs and get those to the street. And I actually carried them off and stuff. But I, I charged her an extra $60 after she would and asked her if she was okay with that, and she was. So that kind of worked out for me.
yeah, yeah. It's good.
Um,
It's always good when when you are able to communicate to the customer those things and they're willing to work with you because I think they understand too, you know.
Yeah, and I'm one thing I'm very good at, Will, is I'm communication as well as doing what I say I'm going to do. I've had people tell me if you just show up when you say you're going to show up, do what you say you're going to do, and communicate, you'll gain so much more business. Because all these customers that I'm dealing with, half of them change providers because they don't show up. They just stop coming. Is it the same way out there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our biggest pain point is my guy, hey, my guy didn't show up. So
Yeah.
whenever I'm in these Facebook groups, and this is a good tactic for you, this is what we use. So obviously we put our website to link it and show our logo, which for us is a selling point, right?
Well, how do you do that? Oh, your business page has your logo.
Yeah, so we use Wix website. On the back end, anytime that you share that link, there's a picture that can show. So we just add our logo to it.
Oh, see, in these groups that I'm in, they won't let me they call it advertising. If I try to put my logo or put something as a, they've shut me down and said
So
I can't advertise.
yeah, so ours does the same depending on like sometimes there's rules of like, hey, you can only post business posts on Saturdays or promote on Saturdays. But
Oh,
but what I'm referring to is like I don't go in there and just blast a post out and with our logo and everything. I don't do that.
okay,
What I
okay.
do is I wait for someone to jump on there who's a homeowner that says, I who's got a recommendation for lawn care services.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when I'm hopping in the comments and saying, hey, at www.militarylawncuts.com. And then underneath that, what I do, because I know the biggest pain point is reliability that's showing up, I put reliable and veteran owned. And that's all I do.
Oh,
I
very
put
nice,
I
very
put the
nice.
website, reliable and veteran owned. So and one would think, well, why wouldn't you sell veteran first? And it's like, well, not everybody is like a lot of ton of people want to support veterans, but their biggest pain point is the guy doesn't show up. So I'm gonna fix that, and I'm gonna try to cure that issue for them of reliability. Like we are reliability. Oh, and by the way, we're veteran. And then boom, it's like okay, discipline, integrity. They show up when they say.
Yeah,
So just
yeah,
all those things that come to mind when they think veteran.
yeah, yeah. No, that's perfect. I love that. I'm going to do that. That's because usually what I would do, I would just go in and put links to my website, put my phone number. Small. I put too much in there, I'm sure, but I need to start doing that.
Yeah.
Um, no, that's great. There was so here's the deal. So I'm here taking care of my mother, and I think unfortunately she won't last a year. Um, but so I know I'm going to go back to Texas where I'm from. I didn't grow up here really. This is where my mom's from. So I had to do what I had to do, come back 2 years ago and help her out. So when that day comes and I move, I'm going back to Texas, and I love, like I said, I've lived in McKinney, I've lived in Frisco, um, I lived in Grapevine. I know Dallas pretty darn well, to be honest with you. Uh, Even though it's changed over the years, but I really like, and I know, how do I say this? And give me your honest opinion, your honest thoughts. And I don't believe people throw the word saturation out there. I don't really believe in that. Um, but if you had to pick an area, obviously you're going to open two more locations, I believe you stated. Um, I'm going to live in Grapevine. I've got an idea of the area I want to hit. What would you recommend, or would you recommend at all?
I think if I so the North DFW area is hot, super hot. I mean, the economy's great. Um, just anywhere, Grapevine, Frisco, McKinney, Flower Mound. Um,
That's what I was thinking, from Flower Mound, Lake Dallas, Highland. What's that Highland something right there in between, north of Flower Mound,
Highland Park,
uh,
yes, super
Highland
high
Park,
end.
South Lake, West Lake, Keller. You know where I'm talking about, all around the Lake Grapevine area. Keller, Trophy Club. Are you familiar with all those?
I am, I am. Honestly, if I were you, wherever
Okay.
you're living, well, I would drop a pin and just draw
Okay.
5 miles and just
o-
get in those and just that way
Okay.
you don't have any drive, a drive time to even get to work. You can spend more time handing out flyers, doing marketing, following up with customers, doing estimates, then you're not having to drive 30, 40 minutes, morning,
Yeah. No,
evening,
obviously I
whatever.
don't want to do that. Yeah. Your business model is, like I said, is genius. You obviously you live in Aubrey, and I actually drove through there. It used to be just a bunch of country fields. I don't know what it's like now, but it was anything above 380 back in the day. You had a couple rich people lived in Salina and Prosper, like Deion Sanders had that big White House. But outside of that, there was nothing. But now I'm sure it's just saturated.
It's blown up. I mean, they're building thousands of homes, thousands,
That's insane, man.
and they're all cookie cutter. like 21-inch mower, 3,000 turf square feet, charge a premium $40 cut, $80
Yeah.
on app. You get in
Right.
in 15, 20 minutes. Like it's insane. And that's literally everywhere. Like you go in the North DFW area. That's why I said like the market that you'll be in and that we're in, like it's incredible. It's incredible. So, and as long as you're consistent and reliable, you show up when you say you are, like it's inevitable. Like you're going to grow and people are going to recognize you and you're going to grow your business, you know.
Yeah. And that makes me feel good because I believe in me. I know my work ethic. I know, like I said, I do before and after pictures. I think you've talked about that. That's very important. I've got 8 5-star reviews on Google My Business. That's another thing. At what point, how hard would it be, or to you, is it even important to move my Google My Business over to where I'm going to be living?
Yeah, super important. The minute you move, I would take that Google My Business and I would
Yeah.
place that wherever you're living, like, you know, or wherever you're operating from. Like just that, because what that'll do, uh, you will rank higher on the kind of algorithm and everything if you have a physical address in there. Okay. A lot of these companies that like are maybe like running out of a storage unit or something like that, what they do, because they can't put the physical address there, they do a territory. So what they're just putting in zip codes. You're going to rank higher if you have a physical address that you can plug in there than someone that has like a property air a service area. So if you know people search Grapevine Lawn Care near me, like you're going to pop up before that guy that has the service area. So the minute you figure out that you are going to make that move, just get that physical address in there as quickly as possible, so that way you can start reading in that local area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking because it's been really good to me. A lot of phone calls, and I get a lot of business from Google My Business. And some of them around here, since it's so spread out, it's a different market. They're out of my it's a 30-minute drive or 20, and it's a sweet lady or whatever. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. And they understand.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
But what am I gonna ask you? So obviously, like I told you, I'm gonna grow organically, but so my next step is to keep getting I keep it real simple, like you said, with the cookie cutter houses. I think that's a brilliant business idea. As far as I don't want to go out and buy a 42-inch, 52-inch, 62-inch, and then do acre, 5 acre. Around here, and all these guys they do that. I'm like, I want like what you have, you know, um, eighth of an acre, quarter of an acre, even up to a half acre, and you can knock them in and out if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's a lot lower barrier to entry. So like the properties that we're doing, I mean, you don't have to start off with a commercial Toro mower like what we use, but you can, like I bought a residential mower off of Facebook Marketplace when I first started for like $100. Like that's all you need is just a regular push mower
Yeah,
to get in and out and make a decent like living and money off of that stuff. And then obviously you want to upgrade eventually once you get uh
sure,
better
sure.
equipment and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't I mean our model is not really focused on the larger properties. Just like you said, I mean, it's thousands and thousands of dollars to buy these large mowers for you to make, you know, $80 an hour while you're mowing. Well, we can make $80 an hour push mowing with $100 mower. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
way more profitable doing it that way. But you know, a lot of people get these glazy eyes of like wanting this bigger equipment and these big trucks and big trailers. And it's like at the end of the day, like, I mean, that stuff's cool, but we're not, you know, focused on that. It's profit. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing I love, and the fact that most businesses fail because number one, they don't charge enough, and number two, their income to debt ratio, so what they're bringing in to how much debt they have is upside down, and they can't make it.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm thinking, and I know we're getting close to the 30-minute barrier here, but so when I get ready to move up, and I like where you just got a simple little 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder Chevy Tahoe, or not Tahoe, Chevy, Ford, whatever, pickup truck. Like I like the stand-ons, like the Wright Standard B stand-on, something like that, and keep the Honda push mower. And that's pretty much what you have. And I like that double tailgate you got. I watch all your stuff. I really enjoy it. But you had somebody make that, right?
Yeah, we use a welder up in Pilot Point.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But do you like that? What I mentioned, just a simple little stand on? Because I like stand on more than I do sit down.
Yeah, to be honest, the size of properties that we do, we don't really need a stand on.
You
So
don't even need a stand on.
we run 21-inch mowers on everything. We don't have a 30-inch mower or a stand on or a sit down. Nothing. We run 21-inch mowers. I think we have like I think 6 or 7 push mowers for our
Are
crews.
you a Toro guy? Or are you a Honda? What's what brand, if you don't mind me asking?
So we used to run Honda, but and the reason why we liked it is because the mower would stay on when you needed to open a gate.
Yep.
It wouldn't cut off on you. But
Yep.
um, we have transitioned to Toro commercial 21-inch mower simply because it has one bar, and when I'm doing interviews, it's so hard on the Honda mower to teach people how to push the yellow button, push the bar forward, push the bottom bar up, and it's like this like weird algorithm that like they've never seen before because they just haven't encountered it, a lot of them. And so it's a lot harder to do an interview and see how the person somewhat is on that piece of equipment. So also the Toro 21-inch mowers are more durable because I've hit things with that and it has not damaged the blade or the crankshaft underneath it. We had a guy that was using our Honda back in the day, and he hit one of those steel electrical boxes that are in the lawn.
Yep.
Just clipped the corner of it, and the whole crankshaft was bent on it. So the mower was
Ooh.
toast.
Yeah.
But we've literally hit metal bars with the Toro 21, like they're tanks. So we deal with team members, right? A lot of team
Yeah.
members and employees.
Yeah.
So you may be different. You may want the Cadillac, the Honda that stays on when you open the gate. But with us, to minimize damage and stuff like that, we just need something that's more durable and team member proof. So
No, it makes sense, and it's probably a little bit more practical. You probably have a local dealer, and if you had issues or whatever.
absolutely, yeah, we use Frisco Lawn and Power.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live on Custer, man, where McKinney meets Frisco on Custer Road. I live right there.
Yeah. Do you know where the Cube Smart is out there? Or was it not
Cubes.
up when you were there?
This was 2010 to 2013.
Okay. I think it's a newer facility, but it's right off of Custer. I don't remember what the parallel or perpendicular road is, but literally right out there is where we're looking at opening the Frisco McKinney location. So
Nah,
that's
yeah,
pretty
El
cool.
Dorado was the main drag going from 75 through. So I was on a corner of Custer and El Dorado. If you know where Stonebridge Ranch Country Club, it was just south. I used to bartend there. It was just south of there.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
That's crazy, man. Small world.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I got like a couple more minutes. So is there any maybe pressing questions that you got or something maybe I didn't answer?
No, you've answered. I feel pretty good where I'm at. You've answered a lot of stuff. I am curious because the mulch bag deal. You mentioned if whoever got close would win something or whatever, and I put 4.5 man hours. I don't think that was probably right, but I am curious if you're willing to tell me on that job what did you charge? If you're willing to tell me.
So that's a good question. Because I've got to go back and look. I think the budget hours on that was 4.89 to be exact.
Oh,
So you were pretty close. You were pretty
I
close.
put 4.5. Yeah.
We charge 80 an hour. So whatever 4.89 times 80 is, let me do the math. 4.89 times 80. Okay, so that's $391.20, but that's
Okay.
for just labor. So there's also a delivery fees of, I think we charge like $75 for delivery. And then the bags of mulch we were charging, I think $4 a bag. And we
And I see
use
where you bought them from Walmart. So you add some markup to it.
a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Um,
that just helps cover the cost. So yeah, whatever 25 bags times 25 bag times four is, which I guess is 100.
$100. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was about a $566 job.
Now let me, and that's pretty close. I do the same thing. I do the bag, cost of the bag plus 30% markup. Um, I try to get though, maybe this is a little, I try to get $100 an hour. It doesn't always work, but it has worked. But do you charge sales tax in the state of Texas? Because I tried to do it here, but then I read the code according to the state, and landscaping. But I guess what we, even though we do most job, they don't consider that landscaping per se. So we're not allowed to charge sales tax here. Do you do that in Texas?
Yeah, so in the state of Texas, it is required if you're making more than, I think it's like $5,600 annually, then you have to start charging sales tax. If you make
Okay.
under
Okay.
that, you don't have to charge it, but you'll probably maybe in the first year, I'm not sure, the market's pretty hot out here, so if you come out right time, I think you'll easily do more than 5,600. So I would definitely charge sales tax just to make sure
Yeah.
you're abiding.
I have no problem doing it. And one last thing, um, like I use Square for my payment processor, and I guess it's kind of a CRM. Um, do you guys use something like that? Like I use that to do my invoices, my estimates, and do all my payments. And I make everybody have credit card or bank card on file. I don't fool with cash or checks.
Yeah, we use Service Autopilot. So
Okay.
all credit cards across the board need to be on file. We don't do any checks, cash, nothing like that.
Service Autopilot. I think I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I've been getting them.
it's kind of
Go ahead.
expensive, but
Is it? Is
yeah,
it more than Jobber?
probably. I think we
Yeah.
pay like $450 a month. But
Ooh, yeah, I can't do that.
we've got, you know, 7 team members on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Would you recommend me stay where I'm at on Square right now until I start getting bigger?
I probably would if it's working out for you. While you're at your size, I think that would be good. You know, until you start to scale and grow.
Right, right. Yeah, I plan on hiring when I reach 100 to 125 gross revenue. Then then I think it's time to get somebody. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, but yeah, I think this thing's gonna end pretty soon.
Yeah,
So,
I apologize.
yeah, no worries. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for your service, and yeah, hopefully I was able to answer your questions.
Oh, more than you know. I greatly appreciate everything you do.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you're gonna crush
And
it,
maybe
Chad.
I'll get to see you in person one day.
Sounds good. Yeah, hit me up when you're out here.
I'll do it.
All right, we'll see ya.
Well, thank you kindly.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have a good one.